This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. First off, before I get started, I want to thank Bahasham, Yahawashi, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. And I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well, who taught me his truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To all, I want to say shalom. And Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. So these devils are moving at Operation Warp Speed, man. And they are pushing forward, moving closer and closer to that MO to the TB, man. You know, so over in Europe, they're ushering in the digital euro, and this is from Zero Hedge. I read a little bit of this, but I want to profile a redacted video and just play a few clips from there, and you know, just put this out there as, you know, as a news, you know, of measuring the time diligently, you know, what times we're in, and we know that we're that much closer to Yahawashi coming and destroying these damn devils, man. So matter of fact, let's get that real quick. This is 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, man. You know, when you continue on, it talks about uproars of the people. So we're seeing all these different signs that the Lord is soon to come, man. You know? So let me read some of this and then get a few clips from the video. So this is from Zero Hedge. It reads, the digital euro could usher in total state control. You know, and we were just speaking about this at camp on Sunday, man. You know, that it's all about control with these devils, man. Like Apostle Gabar said, once you have power over the earth and its resources and you know, pretty much everything in it, the only thing left is raw power over the people, man. You know, and that's what they, you know, what they're trying to push for, man. You know, and they want to be as the Most High, as the scriptures say, man. So it says the digital euro, and this was published April 20th, 2023, the hopeful year that all these prophecies shall be fulfilled. It reads, the digital euro is based on technology that could give the ECB euro, how do you say it? I guess it was a euro currency. I don't know what it stands for, Slovakia. The ECB and states extraordinary powers over our lives. I recently heard one of the most bizarre remarks from, oh, there it goes, European Central Bank, that's what it stands for, Chief Christine Lagarde, that gave me migraines. She said that the Eurozone could not go bankrupt, that this is technically impossible, because the ECB can provide unlimited liquidity at any time. In plain English, when we run out of money, we print what we need. Okay. Let me skip down a little bit, because it's still, you know, it's all tying into the CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies. It says the ECB's planned digital euro works like Bitcoin on the basis of blockchain technology, but with a few differences. Provided you have some, you can protect your money from inflation by holding it from Bitcoin. Tolerance. Let's see. Here we go. So it says, in the future, each of us will have a personally assigned account with the central bank. Every transaction can be tracked by the central bank and its associated authorities. The authorities can and will collect information about anyone who sends money to your wallet, who you send money to, how much you spend, when you spend it, where you spend it, and on what. The authorities will know how often you go to the hairdresser, whether you have a subscription to the gym, whether you like to eat bananas, and how much money you spend on cat food. And that and that's it, man. I mean, let me just read this next one. I don't think the leaders of the EU and the ECB will introduce the digital euro next year simply to use it to turn Europe into a dystopian nightmare the following year. Nor most likely will their successors, but they could. and who knows what views the successors of today's politicians hold. But it all goes back to complete control, man. And they are gonna push for this, man, because it's biblical prophecy, man. The Proverb 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, man. So let me get some of these clips. I don't want to make this too long. So this is from Redacted. Their video they did yesterday. It's starting. This is how they will track everything you do. So I'm gonna get I got a few timestamps. So I'm gonna play these different timestamps and let them do some reporting as well. And I'll give some commentary and bring up some scriptures, and Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. So without further ado, here we go.
All right, let's talk about central bank digital currencies. Digital currencies, my friends, that's how they are going to track everything that you do. This is their plan. Today, the European Central Bank announcing the rollout of the digital euro. According to Zero Hedge, the rollout will work like this. ECB digital euro potentially available initially to euro area residents, merchants, and governments. The ECB says digital euro could be made available via existing banking apps and euro system app. We are at a tipping point right now, guys.
Right. So they're already linking it to these banks, man. They're these different, as they'll report on a little later, these different banks already have been setting up apps so that it can literally the money from your bank could just go through this central bank digital currency without any problems, man. For lack of a better term. I'm not really good on the financial stuff. I'm still studying it myself, but there is all about increasing the level, the speed of and efficiency of the technology in order to do these things, so that they can have complete control over the people. All right, let's go down to Sluggy. What's going on, man? Switch. I just want to get a few key points real quick.
Tied together. So last week, we heard from the Bank of England, their goal is to remove cash altogether in favor of digital currency. And in the EU...
And we can't forget that here in Babylon, that Sleepy Creepy Joe, I think it was House Bill 14067, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He wants to get rid of regular paper money as well and introduce a digital currency. So everything's tying in.
It is now illegal for you to use more than 1,000 euros to pay England. Their goal is to remove cash altogether in favor of digital currency. And in the EU, it is now illegal for you to use more than 1,000 euros to pay more than 1,000 euros in cash for anything. Think about that. Oh, you've got a landscaping job at your house and you want to pay the gardeners or whatever to do it, laying new bricks or whatever going to do. $1,000, 1,000 euros, pay them in cash. Sorry, illegal. In fact, not only just illegal, could be imprisoned for it, fined and imprisoned for it.
And of course, they're going to start off slow. They're going to implement it, gradualism. They can't just, come down with the hammer on the people so suddenly. They have to ease their way into it. We're going to still allow you to use cash, even though we encourage against it, but we're not going to allow you to go past 1,000, so then it'll go down to 900 and 800 and 500 and 100, and there you go. And then before you know it, you know, and that's how these devils operate. Let's get a scripture real quick. That's how these devils get down, man. This is Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, and power, right? A horse represents power, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, man. So not only are they constantly harassing everybody and annoying the shit out of everybody, you know, and being putting their big noses in everybody else's business, right? But they were given the power not only of the sword as a physical sword, or the modern day sword as a gun, but also as of deception, right? So they're going to paint the picture that this is actually a good thing for society. And there's another clip that I want to play that proves that. So let's continue on. Where we at? There we go.
Tell me how I spend my money, you fascists. And they're going to use fear of terror attacks as the mechanism to control you.
They're going to use these well, the same way that they did with the CV, the same way that they got imbeciles still walking around with a damn mask on, even after you don't even hear anything about it anymore, but you still have individuals, you know, walking around with that shit like a fucking imbecile, right? It's the same thing, the same way that they redacted, they had just reported on the 9/11, right? That there's a lot of things that we already knew, but there's shady things that were happening, and that the Babylon possibly was involved, which I believe they absolutely were. But that was a whole event, right? In order to achieve an agenda, right? Because after that, people's so-called rights have been taken away, as Clayton says. Now, because of that event that they did, you know, you have to base damn near strip down every time you go to get on a fucking plane, right? You got to take your shoes off. You got to empty out all your bags, all electronics. You know, when my son was little, we couldn't even have for his formula, we could only have a certain amount, and it had to be packaged and sealed and all this shit, man. You know, this is the devil for you, man. And it always goes back to complete control with these damn devils. All right, so continuing on.
Those people that would be using cash in this way are terrorists.
Oh, this will sure stop them.
So in Europe now, if you use cash beyond 1,000 euros, you'll be fined or put in jail. Listen to Christine Lagarde, head of the ECB, the European Central Bank, explain how this will work to protect you against terrorism. Now, this video has gone a bit viral, but the reason it's gone viral is because this was a prank phone call. But the beauty of this prank phone call is that it was a prank, but asking like legitimate questions that elicited straight up answers right out of her mouth about exactly how they will control you. Listen to the back and forth exchange on this live stream where she answers these questions. Watch.
There are many protests in Europe against the electronic euro. What is the reason?
You know, it's the beauty of Europe. It has different positions. If you ask in Northern Europe, for instance, in the Netherlands, they're quite happy to see the e-euro coming. If you ask a young German man, he'll say, yeah, fine. As I said, I don't want Meta, Google, or Amazon to suddenly come up with a currency that will take over the sovereignty of Europe. I don't want a foreign currency to become the currency of trading within Europe. So we have to be ready.
No, the problem is they don't want to be controlled. They don't want to...
Yeah, but you know what? Now we have in Europe this threshold. Above 1,000 euros, you cannot pay cash. If you do, you are on the grey market. So you take your risk. You get caught you are fined or you go in jail. But, you know, the digital euro is going to have a limited amount of control. There will be control, you're right. You're completely right.
Will be control, though, right out of the monkey's mouth, right? So there is, and they always use, as the scriptures say, what's that? I believe it's Psalms 55. Matter of fact, let's get it. Let's get it. Listen to how these devils operate, man. Yep, Psalms 55. Baruch atah Yahawah, Baruch atah Yahawashi. The words of his mouth, Esau eating the so-called white people, right? The deceiver, the devil that the Bible speaks of, right? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they drawn swords, man. That's these devils for you, man. She's over here fucking talking about, you know, in a way that this is actually beneficial to you. Meanwhile, the whole time they're laying a snare for you. It's going. The point of it is to control. It's control. It's not for the benefit of the people. It's to control the people. You know, and this is only this warning is to you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, and our fellow brethren that were scattered amongst the heathen, man. You know, the rest of the heathen nations are gonna give a damn about what happens to them. That's on them, man. They can figure that shit out for themselves. This warning, we were commanded, the prophets of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi were commanded to give warning onto our people, as it says in Ezekiel 3:17. Give them warning from me. So we're commanded to be a watchman onto the house of Israel, right? So continuing on with this beast lady.
We are considering whether for very small amounts, you know, anything that is around 300, 400 euros, we could have a mechanism where there is zero control. But that could be dangerous. The terrorist attacks on France back 10 years ago were entirely financed by those very small anonymous credit cards that you can recharge in total anonymity.
Yeah, see, and just like it says in Daniel 8:25, and by peace shall destroy many, right? So saying that, you know, this is going to be some kind of attack and XYZ, all this, you know, bullshit, is them trying to sell it to you, man, and them trying to come as the savior, man, right? Because what's the scripture say? And make no marvel, even Satan himself is turned into an angel of light. This is what these devils are trying to do, man. Meanwhile, they're laying snares, man. Let me see if I can find that. Lay snares. Yep, Psalms 38:12. They also that seek after my life lay snares for me, and they that seek my hurt speak mischievous things and imagine deceits all the day long. That's what these devils do, man. They seek our hurt, they lay snares for us, and they imagine deceits all the day long, man. That's these devils, man. Esau eating the so-called white man. Let's get this one. Let's hear from another devil. The head of the CBDC, as Clayton is going to explain.
By Augustin Karsten, explains it perfectly. He is the head of the Bank for International Settlements, okay? Basically, the central bank for the central bank, like literally the top. He's like the Jabba the Hutt. He is literally Jabba the Hutt for all of central banking. This, and him explaining this, pay attention to every word that he is saying here. If you need to describe this to anyone in your family, play this clip right here. Watch.
Our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash, and there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
Yeah. So
Complete control. Absolute control, I believe is the way he said it. They will have absolute control of what you will be able to buy and sell. So let's get this last little clip, and then I'll get another precept and I'll wrap it up.
States as well.
And I just wanted to mention too, like, so Chase, Bank of America, several banks just announced this week, I saw it on Twitter, I can't remember the name, but it's something like PayZ or something. So the FedNow system has been saying they were going to come out with that, and what would happen is banks would create an app that their system would send the transactions to the Fed and then back. And so it's kind of coincidental that these banks, or no coincidence that these banks just announced this, because that's exactly what's it looks like, is this is going to be the system that you will use with these banks to go to the FedNow system and then go back to other banks. So it's like, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. You know, it's happening right before our very eyes, man. All praise to Bahasham, Yahawashi. You know, and we're hastening it, you know, because we can't get to the kingdom of heaven until these prophecies are fulfilled, man. So, and this is a showing that rice device, that CHIP, is on the way, man, and it's coming very quickly. You know, the Lord is shortening the days, man. All praise to Yahawashi. We're hastening the day of the coming of the Lord, so we can get from under these goddamn devils, man. You know, the captive exile hasteneth the day to be released. Roughly paraphrasing. This is Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, that CHIP, that charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads. And this devil say, he controls, and there goes George Soros, that demon. Where's he at? You know, he's in control of everything. He said the problem is that they can't track if you use $100 or 100 pesos or 1,000 pesos or whatever currency you're using. That's the issue to them. They need to know what you're spending it on, where you're spending it, who you're spending it with. You know, all of that. That's what they want, because they want to be as the Most High, but they are not the Most High. They are just a man, not only just a man, but the basis of all men. You know, this fucking butterball ass fucking heathen right here, man. And that's why the Lord's gonna destroy these goddamn devils, man. Revelation 13 and 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. You heard what the dude was saying in Redacted. All these banks are linking it, having apps that it would basically go to the Fed now and bounce back, or however it's going to work. But it would have to go through the Fed now. So they would be able to track and trace and implement restrictions or whatnot, you know, whatever they want to do to completely control the people, man, all over the world, right? Because the guy that controls the umbrella of all the central banks, so to speak, you know, he's in league with it, man. You know, so this is going to be a worldwide thing, man. All the different banks around the world, man. All the different currencies. There's no coincidence that all these different countries are leaving from the dollar. The dollar's collapsing, and all of them, these BRICS nations, are talking about going digital, man. They're saying it with a precious metal being a backing, but nonetheless, it's still digital. That's the point. So that it can still be tracked and traced. That's what it goes down to. And that no man might buy or sell save he, meaning except he, that had the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, man. So this warning is as it constantly goes out through the spirit and power of Yahawashi to you Israelites, man. Don't take that goddamn rice device, man. And this is what will happen if you go down to Egypt for help, man. Don't worry about what's gonna happen to you, man. The Yahawashi will take care of you, man. So this is the consequences if you were to take that rice device, man, that sea hip. This is Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his right hand, right? Because you have to remember that the Lord Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, is jealous, or a jealous power, man. You know? So if you take that thing, you're essentially bowing down to Satan, man, to Esau Edom. And the Lord is not going to be pleased with that. And let's see what he says is going to happen to you if you do that. Revelation 14:10, the same one that takes that bows down, right? That bends the knee to Baal, right? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. Indignation meaning righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So if you take that, you're gonna basically be missile food, man. You're gonna have a missile with your name on it, man. And the Lord's gonna, as the brother had brought out, the Lord said, let me see if I can find it. Ezekiel 22:20, right? When those missiles come over here, right? If you take that rice device, that sea hip, this is what's going to happen to you, man. As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace to blow the fire upon it, to melt it, so will I gather you in my anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you, man. So, hey, you don't want to be on the wrong side of Yahawashi, man. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the Lord, man. You know, so let me get one more and wrap it up. This is Proverbs 22:3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil. So that's these devices that these devils, these snares that these devils are coming up with, are evil, man. Right? So a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, right? Hide yourself in this truth under Yahawashi, man. That's our hedge of protection. You know? Under their wings will we be protected. You know? The angels of the Lord encampeth around them that fear Yahawashi, man. You know, the righteous runneth, the names of the Lord are strong tower, the righteous runneth into it and are safe, man. Right? Proverbs 22:3, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished, man. So the warning is continuing to go out, you know, and it's going to continue to go out until the Lord, you know, tells us not to, man. You know, so yeah, I just wanted to report on that. You know, it's starting. You know, they're starting it over there in Europe, and it is soon to come over here to Babylon and encompass the whole inhabited planet, man. You know, and we know that because these things are happening, because these prophecies are beginning to manifest themselves, right? That the Lord Yahawashi is soon to come, man. You know. So, you know, in closing, I want to thank Yahawashi once again for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. And I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well, who taught me his truth. Salutation to you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutation to my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To all, I want to say shalom. I want to say DTA, Abal, Babal, and Kwam Yasharala. Hey, shalom. To the next one.